On the morning of the 21st, I think we all came in and it was real smoky, but I think most of us just figured we get used to that. The smoke is blowing in. I think as the day got into the afternoon, you started realizing this was worse than what we thought it was.
So we were at home, and about 5 o'clock, the clouds just started to billow over the ridge. We listened to the 5 o'clock briefing where Grand Lake wasn't even in a pre-evacuation at all, and the fire just, it wasn't there, and then it was.
Right there.
You know, I had 7 minutes notice from our pre-evacuation to stop what you're doing and get out now. Driving out was terrifying. The darkness wasn't like nighttime darkness, it was like taking a piece of black construction paper and trying to look through it. I do remember telling my son to look back, because I said, I don't think we're probably ever coming back to Grand Lake. I didn't see how our town was gonna survive.
I remember back in 9/11, when the planes hit the World Trade Center, I sat here going, they're never going to be able to clean up that mess and move forward. This thing damaged all of downtown New York. This is going to take forever. No, I mean, there's no way. And you saw it start to happen and move forward. Same thing when that came through here. I was like, I have no idea how we're going to deal with this, but we've got to keep moving forward.
What it did to some of these trees right here, this tells you in one little spot how bad the winds were, how strong the winds were. You've got trees bowed over, and they said the heat from the fire just froze them in place. To do what it did to some of these trees, the winds inside that storm, inside the fire front, had to be 130 to 150 miles an hour.
We got out and started watching it, kind of patrolling the neighborhoods, making sure people were out. And it basically, if you looked to the south, it looked like everything was on fire. At that point, I think you succumb to the fact that that thing's going to come through here and it's going to wipe out this whole town, everything around it.
To give you an idea, kind of the main body of the fire, the main head of the fire went through just on the other side of this valley through those mountains and burned out this way into Rocky Mountain National Park. These fires up here were all spot fires that were thrown out, different fireballs and things thrown out.
All we did for several hours was circle through the neighborhoods around Columbine Lakes, and if we saw a fire, we'd put it out. Some houses might have had 10 campfires around the house, and we'd go into the woods, put them out, pull our hoses back, throw them on an engine, go to the next one. And you kind of sat there going, is anyone going to come and help? And you know, this isn't going to mend itself or fix itself in my lifetime. It's just decimated the trees, the flowers, the animals, everything, and wiped it out. So this could be the fire we start seeing more of. Coming into Monday and Tuesday of the next week, then you kind of grasped what we had been through. And I think that's when it also kind of caught me, the impact it was having on everybody, how many people had lost their homes or were out of their homes, evacuated, and couldn't get back.
So this is our main driveway. So when you first came in, our house sat square, so you drive straight into the 2-car garage or park on the street, depending on time of year, winter time. And then this is kind of where we were saying the yard art. We put all the burnt stuff that we did get out of the house. We put it up on the hill for now, and trying to make space to get our new building site together.
Right there's where our house should be.
It used to be there.
I think it was about 3 weeks later that we
And it was
came
kind
back
of
to the house, and that was hard.
Yeah, we weren't here very long the first time. We kind of sat in the cul-de-sac, and it took us time to walk into the driveway, and we kind of walked around a little bit, and I was like, yep, we'll come back. It was heartbreaking. It was something I never thought I'd have to live through.
It's kind of a frozen in time situation where it doesn't seem like time is moving. It's really, really weird. There's no foundation. So we probably would have been standing in our bedroom if the house was here.
See, if you look here, the fire cloth is right here.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look up there to the ranch, there he lost 29 structures.
Mm-hmm. And it jumped over the hill and burned the house right on the other side of the hill.
But then it jumped a half a mile and went into Rangeview and took the back half of Rangeview and took almost everything. I think it only left like...
It was the scariest thing for sure I have ever dealt with.
I'm a retired firefighter, so I have the wildland experience and the experience of being in those situations, and it was exhilarating for me, but it was also terrifying because I knew I was losing my house. So and there was nothing I could do about it. So went through those emotions of anger. Could I have saved it? Could I have not? And pitchforks, and gas stands out of the garage.
And I'm a Colorado native, and he's lived here since he was probably 5. So you know that it's a threat. I mean, we live in a place where wildfires happen, and we see it on TV every season, whether it's in Colorado or California or wherever.
Oregon's
but
burning
you
up right now. So.
Never think, someday that will be you.
This fire in general is just very invasive. It strips so much from the nature and the homes and from people's lives. It's removed our feeling of safety and calm. There were so many years of, you'd hear the phrase, it's not if, it's when. But you don't ever really come to terms with what that looks like. And you can see in this exhibit the harsh reality of what this fire looks like. This installation is called Troublesome Stories, Art and Artifacts from the East Troublesome Fire. It is a semi-linear narrative in photographs. There's also written narratives, first accounts from residents. And then there's artifacts recovered from people's homes. Really precious things that I don't take lightly that I am the steward of. It's really powerful when someone says, these are the only things I recovered. Yes, you can use them for the next 6 months. It's a real testament to our community as well. This is still something that is very raw to me, that's very emotional. It's something that we are walking through the thick of it. The harsh reality is I have 70 friends that lost their homes in this fire. My kids go to school with friends that lost their homes. But the weight of our hurt is so much more than just lost homes. This project really came to fruition in my mind when I realized we needed a physical place for people to go to learn about how this fire has impacted us, is still impacting us, and to really give a visual to our resiliency. They can't understand our regrowth until they see what we're walking through. And that's one of the intents with this exhibit.
You think everywhere you live is a special place, and you're in just a cool group of people. And Grand Lake definitely stepped up. And there's no way that we could leave. I think it was just a huge sign to be like, these are your people.
To whatever extent you've lost faith in humanity, you start to see it back again when something like this happens. The positive nature of this community has blown me away.
Back in October, I thought, who's going to come? Who's going to come to Grand Lake this summer if it's all burned up? And the people who love us have shown up for us. A piece of Grand Lake stays behind in every person that comes here.
The family that we have up here is the reason why we're rebuilding. we will get through it. We will rebuild. So. It's still home. It's just to be a different home.